Hey guys, going to do 1510. So I was 1500, I reached 1500 yesterday, back again in Rapid, and I decided to keep playing. I took myself to bed with my phone last night, with a little bit of caffeine still in my system, and I thought, I'll pick up my phone, I'll play a game of chess. 5 minutes past 12, I'm still there, losing multiple games in a row. 14:30. There you go. So, no more tea, no more chocolate. It's just meat, salt and water, some fish for me. So I've got some slightly salted water here. Back on the wagon today. Amazing how a little bit of tea and chocolate on the last 2 days really wired me. Yeah, but not in a good way. I mean, I played the most shocking game of chess in Chesterfield Chess Club's history, I would dare to say. Possibly, the lowest rated game. But the other thing that was interesting is I won us the match. Okay, so we've got a Petrov. I'm just going to go at this kind of more Vienna style with 3 knights. Okay, we've got 4 knights. I'm going to play 4 knights Scotch. I don't know it, but we can figure it out together, eh? A little bit of calculation goes a long way. I know it's a solid opening. I know it's good. I know it's got fun and games in it. I'm sure this is... Can't do that because of that. And this we can just take back, I suppose, with the knight. Might be worth looking into the 4 knight Scotch, because I do find myself in this position every now and again. If you face the Petrov, what are you going to do? Well, so the same thing against Alekhein's defence. If they play e4 and then 1 knight here, okay, I guess I can just have that. If he wants to trade knights, then he's invested 2 moves. So I mean, so have I. But I've then got 2 pieces out of the board, and he's only got the 1. So, and I've got a central port. So white can't be worse here. Especially after... What the heck? What was that? Okay, my first thoughts are like bishop c4. Just putting one eye on there. Am I scared about this queen coming out? No. Now, I don't have a king's knight anymore. Other options could be to develop this bishop maybe long castle. And maybe start some funny business up that side of the board. Always have g3. I think this is good. I don't want to put my bishop on d2. d3. e2 may be also a thought. But my queen here is also kind of tying down the bishop to g7. And look at that, 1, 2, 3. Why did he undevelop his knight? This guy's rated 1433 in Rapid. Okay, I can't hit the queen with that. I can hit the queen with knight d5. The thing about knight d5 is it also targets c7 with the king rook fork. It improves my knight because it's moving it up the board. It's a tempo move. The queen cannot respond with check other than that which loses. So this, what's the queen got? She's got that actually. That's kind of interesting. That is also a check, but then I just have c3. I'm going to do this because it feels like I'm improving my position. And it's not losing a turn because black also has to lose a turn by moving the queen now. And the queen's really only got 2 sensible squares. There's one of them. Okay. Now do I have bishop f4? Do I have bishop f4? That forces, I think, the queen to there. And it's a developing move. It's defended by the knight. Hits the queen. Notifications. Friends. Okay, friends are always good. We've got to be way better here, haven't we? And in fact, also, look, I'm x-raying through the queen at c7. So now the knight's going to go in there. Whatever she does, I mean, all you've got is that, and then you lose your queen. So, now, right. Okay. There, the king must move. There are only two legal moves. We have this or this. Okay. The knight is undefended. This pawn hangs. I also have a check here, which can be blocked by queen or bishop or knight. I give check here, someone blocks, I do this. I don't know. Let's say I take time out to push g3, or just drop my bishop back here, which may be actually better. Yeah. What can he do? Well, then he can push this, d6. And in fact, it doesn't save the pawn. So I go there. He's not going to step out into the board because he's not insane. I go there, he's going to go here, isn't he? Then do I just take the rook? And if you take that, I'm just going to castle. I think so. I think forwards is the way to go. Forwards, forwards, forwards. Okay. Now I'm also threatening this, forcing the king back. So he's not only lost a rook, he's also and a pawn. He's lost castling rights as well. And okay, right. First thought is long castles. But we are now in what's called a winning position. So you don't have to panic. Look, I've got 13 minutes on the clock. This is what I was doing last night. I was playing 10-minute games as though they were 5-minute blitz. Rushing a couple of moves and you lose. That's what happens. I think long castles looks great here because then I've simply got 3 attackers on this pawn on d6, yeah? I'm not worried about this pawn. If he wants to take time out not developing any of his other pieces to grab a solo pawn, that's fine because he loses this one anyway. In fact, I'm not sure how he can defend that one other than advancing the king, and he can't go there. So, and then I've even got maybe e5. Depends if the pawn is pinned, we'll see. This also hangs, by the way. This is an absolutely vile position for black. Not for me, I'm having a great time. Right, I think there's two appealing options. We could just trade off, but then queen takes check, king b1, right? Or simply this. Like, even if he does, for example, queen here with check, I'll just move back and that wins the queen, so, because it's a discovered check. This is not a 1433 performance from Mr. Taurus 23. Okay, I'm just going to trade everything. Yeah. And now I'm +7 materials. That is defended as we speak, but takes, double pawns, takes. Yeah, my knight is potentially in a pickle. But right now, black's concern is king. So I'm going to develop my final rook. I have this actually as well now that the rook's defended. I had to defend the rook. How I spend 75 minutes and play at 950 level according to the very rude fish, and then using 2 minutes of playtime, I can demolish somebody of higher rating. I have no idea. Right, I think I can just trade here. He can't take the king, he has to take the pawn. I mean, I could push on with check. I can just save the knight, doesn't really matter. So I'm up a full rook and 2 pawns. and his knight is poor. I think the move f3 or h3 would be good to remove this square from the knight. I wouldn't be surprised if the knight comes here, but then I have this as well. In fact, no, I just have this, because it's defended by the knight. The king can't encroach on here, so it'd be no, 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 no. I think we might as well do. I mean, okay, he's forking 2 pawns. Is there anything we can do about this? Let's throw this in. Defended by the knight. King has to go here or here. Okay. If he goes here, it's bye-bye rook. So he has to go here. Then I'll probably just push f3, maybe lose this pawn, but then the knight, I believe, is more or less trapped. There you go, absolutely. He wants a rematch, go on then. Go on then, astonish me. The Ponziani. Okay, we played the Ponziani counter gambit, nevertheless. Ponziani is like the king's pawn equivalent of the Alapin. You always have to just be watching out for this, especially if you ever move your own d pawn, you know. Okay, I think here we can just take, knight f6. We've got now 2 central pawns. White has 1 central pawn. Probably want to get my bishop out, and that looks like the appropriate square. e7 I'm less keen on, but he's looking like fianchettoing his bishop behind his own e-pawn. That's, you know, kind of valid. Let's pin. Fill up with pin. If he pushes this, I'll be happy. I'll just retreat. Okay, the knight is still pinned. Where do I'm probably thinking like queen d7 first. Then I might even long castle, and I might just attack up. Now that the g-pawn's been pushed, right, it's got Harry's attention, hasn't it? I think this is okay. So we've got pin pawn here, we've got pin knight. These are assets. They're not assets that I can realise at this point in time, but assets they are nonetheless. I might have to play a5 here. I might have to change my ideas about which side I'm castling, which is not a problem. The light squared bishop is never going to be taking advantage of this diagonal anytime soon, although it is wide open. The queen, however, might. Queen has queen b3. Let's say our castle. Okay, she's not gone there. So she's undefended this knight, which is now defended only by the bishop and that knight. So it's perfectly adequately defended. She is defending this now a second time. I'd like to get castled, and I think I'm going short. The reason is my opponent's already started pushing pawns up the queen side. I haven't. My pieces are in the way of my pawns on the queen side. I think I'd like to weather the storm on this side of the board and possibly attack, making use of my semi-open f-file, perhaps. Okay, now my first thought is I'd love to just block this c-pawn. So he's got ambitions of doing this, okay. I'm just going to play a5 and try and just undermine stuff. I'm not actually too worried about this. Okay, here comes the pawn. Okay, so I can't go there, can't go there, can't go there, can't go there. It's probably going to be that, isn't it? That pawn now hanged, or hung, so... And this is still pinned. This is still defended twice. This is still defended twice. This is a position where now our job is to hold our horses. My horses are doing alright. This guy might come around here. What if c5? needs consideration, because c5, yes, if he takes en passant, I can take that with maybe the pawn, I can start to budge up in the centre and use my majority there, which is an imbalance in my favour. c5, on the other hand, it does create a backwards pawn on d6. I also just have this, which is technically an outpost for my bishop. Stops the pawn advancing any further. c5 and he does nothing, we've got relatively close, but then my bishop's got lots worse. So I'm thinking, yeah, bishop c5 rather than pawn c5 is better. I then have the option of this, make a nice little diamond, shine bright like a diamond with my defensive structure here, and his lack of a d-pawn now is going to bite, because after this it's all closed, and what can this pawn do? Nothing. It can just run headfirst into a wall. Congratulations, you know. Then my job is going to be some manoeuvring. Okay, he wants my bishop out of there, and he's prepared to trade a knight. I accept the terms of your deal. Huh. Well, he's noticed this pawn is now pinned, but I can take this pawn, so what's the fuss? Tell me what's happening. What's this? What's the buzz, isn't it? Excuse me. I'm trying to look how I can put more pressure on here by getting my knight to here. I played that role. I played the role of Judas Iscariot in Jesus Christ Superstar many moons ago, about year 2001, an amateur production in Leeds. Judas has more lines than Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar. It's a bizarre fact. But I love that musical. Okay, question is what to do with my horses. They're kind of chilling, but they could be more useful. Now, how does my knight get from there to there? Now, you ought to know that for a knight to move 2 squares diagonally, it takes 4 moves. How else can I assault this pawn? Maybe not. Maybe I just need to abandon that whole idea. If I could pick my knight up and put it anywhere on the board, where would I put it? Something like that. Looks good. That's not bad. I don't know. I'm going to centralise a rook, I think. I'm going to pre-move that recapture. I don't know if he's going to do it. It does weaken the a-pawn. It does actually weaken the a-pawn. With my having moved the rook away, but then he's got no knight. It's the Philippines, right? This is kind of evening time in the Philippines. Probably about 7 hours ahead of here, so about 5 p.m. Okay. Now this pawn can't really move forwards. I might stick my knight here, I might stick my pawn... Ooh! Oh, well done. I did not see that. I did not see that. I take the knight, you take the queen, I take the rook. That's giving away 1 material. Ooh! Knight is defended by the bishop, notice. Okay, queen or knight? Queen attacks this, it is defended. Queen attacks this, it's defended twice. So I'm thinking knight. The queen's kind of more mobile, but I think knight. Also opens up the rook. That was playing quickly as well. got to be careful about to broach a subject that some people get upset about. But sometimes I think, when it just doesn't pay to accept rematch offers. And that's all I'm going to say on the matter. Just sometimes. Rarely. Okay, do I come back here? Do I come back here? I give up my knight for 2 pawns. Can't go there, so it could be 3 pawns. I'm a pawn down. Just look at this. Look at this. And then rook takes. Rook takes, takes. If queen takes, undefends this. I also don't really want to be opening up the board or removing pawns because my opponent has 2 bishops. Two attackers. Notice my queen's looking at this point. It's now defended once. It's safer back there. Could maybe think about getting a knight to here, putting pressure on that and that. Both of which attacked by the queen as well. Going for expansion now. Goes here. That's okay. I'm thinking my knight might go back there. Could also go back to d7. Wow. Really, he's shutting me down, isn't he, now with these pawns? He's still only a pawn up. And which is this pawn? Got 3, kind of 3 on this side. It's a bit clumsy on the queen side now. Not sure about that. Takes here, I take back. So what's if we just move the knight? Knight might come here. Knight might come here. No, that doesn't work. It walks to pawn fork. If I just take... No, I'm concerned about these pawns though. Don't like that. That hits the queen. I'm attacking this twice, it's defended twice. Queen here. Very, very different standard of play to the first game, put it that way. Right, if he takes, whatever he takes is going to come with a discovery on the queen, isn't it? I think I have to take. This is defended only once. Okay. Now this is a human shield. So I have this. Can't go there, can't go there. I can go back. Can't go there because queen takes, so it's got to be here, right? Knight attacks this. Bishop takes. Slight risk. Nah. I confess I'm going to check the review on that. And while we're at it, 84.1 accuracy. I don't know. No blunders from me. 2 mistakes. Just crushed the life out of me in that one, didn't he? Got his points back. It was pretty tight. I mean, here, this was not great. I could have capitalised on it. Yeah, just moving in and targeting that. Yeah, I think just, first game went really well, and I just kind of flagged a bit. Just flagged a bit, lost energy. Anyway, Duke got his points back. Let him have them. We'll fight again tomorrow. Okay, see you later, guys. Take care.